Fans of Five Finger Death Punch, I'm sure you guys were all very surprised this morning to hear some of the reports that came out of your favorite band's camp and all of the press that has been going on surrounding your band's performance last evening in Memphis, Tennessee at the Beale Street Music Festival, which included a lot of strife, a lot of on-stage conflict, a very uneasy moment. We're going to talk about this very briefly because this took me pretty much by surprise. This is something that obviously has been brewing for quite some time now. For those of you who have not heard about any of that and you're looking at me like, what the frickin' heck are you talking about? I will speak about it very briefly. Five Finger Death Punch did a show last evening, May the 1st, 2015, at the Beale Street Music Festival, where the lead singer, Ivan, was speaking with the crowd and mentioned the drummer's book about Five Finger Death Punch, and he then made a comment stating that he had nothing to do with it, which caused the drummer to walk off stage with the rest of the band to follow, leaving Ivan or Ivan up there to kind of try to dictate the show by himself. And there are actually, there are a couple of recordings of this that exist as far as fan recordings are concerned from cell phones or from whatever, which shows this as an exceptionally awkward 5-minute period. It's a period where Ivan Moody tries to a cappella a couple of tracks or a couple of lines in order to sort of keep the crowd into it, which the crowd responds. I gotta give Five Finger Death Punch fans credit. You guys are dedicated to your band, because the call and response that was done here, singing along with him whenever there was turmoil that was obviously going on. Good on you guys for showcasing why people should be a fan of this band. Because of people like that, because of being able to make it sound like the whole thing was planned to be that way. It was planned for them to walk out and sing alongside of Ivan and do that whole thing. But of course the band does not return for quite some time. He's out there essentially on his own, and it's a very, very awkward scene. And it apparently seems very much like, and a lot of the comments that have been made based around this is the fact that Five Finger Death Punch essentially broke up on stage last night. Though after about 10 to 15 minutes of this, the band did come back out on stage, and they did perform the rest of their set somewhat. It seemed, from what the eyewitness reports have stated, it seems like it was a very forced performance. It was a very It was one that was ripe with a lot of conflict. It was one that definitely seemed like they were doing it to do the show, do the show for the fans, but it didn't look like it was much fun. This is surprising to me because this band, I hadn't heard much in the way of detraction out of anybody. I hadn't heard any sort of negativity really coming from a lot of individuals. So this kind of came as a shock. A lot of people will probably point the finger toward like one comment that was made, but in order for one comment to really set off an entire band like that, there's got to be more than that that's a swirl. There's got to be more than that that's kind of taken place within the past couple of months or within the past period of time to really cause this kind of conflict, to escalate this quickly. Five Finger Death Punch was never really a band that was 100% for me. I don't hate them. I don't really like them. They're just a band that I sort of tolerate. I enjoy from very sparse time to time, but still, you don't like to see this kind of stuff happen on stage. You don't like to see this kind of crap occur right in the middle of a show whenever people who paid to attend are in the audience wondering what's going on. And of course, for a lot of fans, this was something that it was a unique situation. At the end of the day, you heard a couple people demand that they wanted their money back because of what happened. There were a lot of others that were whispering it's the demise of Five Finger Death Punch before our very eyes. It's kind of been the rolling consensus, but of course there's been nothing that's officially been stated from the band regarding that, regarding a breakup, that is, so you're safe for now. But man, this is something that I didn't expect from this group. I didn't expect from Five Finger Death Punch. This kind of came by surprise, and whenever it came to my attention, it was a very eye-opening what moment, so to speak. But the only thing that I could say about it, the only way that I could react to this is very simple. You know, these are personalities that need to do very much what Ozzy Osbourne needs to do with Bill Ward, or Bill Ward needs to do with Ozzy Osbourne. They just need to sit down, they need to talk it out, they need to scream at one another, they can get into a fist fight with one another for all I care and for all that a lot of other people care. And if at the end of all of that, the tension still breeds a separation, then that's kind of just where everything apparently was heading, you know. But if at the end of the day they're able to reach some sort of agreement, either that or if they're able to, you know, calm down and let cooler heads prevail and maybe start working on repairing the friendship or the bandmate-ship, whatever you want to call it, the relationship that the band has with one another, from within, then that would just be a good thing. You know, just because I'm not the biggest fan of a band doesn't mean I want them to break up, doesn't mean I want them to stop making music or implode on stage. So I hope that they're able to get a lot of these issues straightened out for the fans' sake, because I know that there's a lot of Five Finger Death Punch fans out there, and would be really disappointed if these guys collapsed and broke up. So my advice would be just, you know, talk the stuff out, kind of be mindful of one another, and do what you can in order to try to foster this relationship for the fan base's sake. They're the reason why you're at where you're at right now. Yeah, without them, you would just be, well, the same band probably, only, you know, playing for a lot fewer people. So, yeah. What did you guys think about this? Did you guys know about this? Is this news to you? Let's talk about it in the comments a little bit. Let's circulate this a little bit, because... And if you're a Five Finger Death Punch fan, don't be afraid in the comments to say, get your shit together, Five Finger Death Punch, or, you know, I love Five Finger Death Punch, I hope Five Finger Death Punch doesn't break up, whatever you want to say, you know. Show that there is some support. I don't want this to seem like it's a bash video, because it's really not. It's more reporting the news. Thanks.